सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सच्चिदानंदरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सदां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्तदेवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो ब्राह्मणेभ्यो आचार्येभ्यो भक्तेभ्यो साधुभ्यो साधकेभ्यो तीर्थेभ्यो क्षेत्रेभ्यो नदीनदेभ्यो शास्त्रेभ्यो नमो नमः। ओम श्री परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षे सूतवामने शौनकादिषुभ्यो त्रयादशीभ्यो प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो मत्स्यादेवतारेभ्यो दक्षिणावर्ति दत्तात्रेय ग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो आदिपराशक्तिमात्रे नमः। मातापितृदेवताभ्यो नमः। आद्यशङ्कराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपम स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ अष्टादशोऽध्यायः। श्री भगवानुवाच। Chant the entire chapter. वनं विविक्षुः पुत्रेषु भार्यां न्यस्य सहैव वा वन एव वसेत् शान्तः तृतीयं भागमायुषः कन्दमूलफलैर्वन्यैः मेध्यैर्वृत्तिं प्रकल्पयेत् वसीतवल्कलं वासः तृणपर्णाजिनानि च केशरोमनखश्मश्रु मलानि बिभ्रूयात् ततः न धावेदप्सु मज्जेत त्रिकालस्थण्डिलेशयः त्रिकालं स्थण्डिलेशयः ग्रीष्मे तप्येत पञ्चाग्नेन वर्षास्वासारषाड्जले आकण्ठमग्नः शिशिरे एवं वृत्तः तपश्चरेद अग्निपक्वं समश्नीयात् कालपक्वमथा विवा उलूकलाश्मकुट्टो वा दन्तोलूकल एव वा स्वयं सञ्चिनुयात् सर्वम् आत्मनो वृत्तिकारणं देशकालबलाभिज्ञः नाददीतान्यदाहृतम् वन्यैश्चरुपुरोडाशैः निर्वपेत् कालचोदितान् न तु श्रौतेन पशुना मां यजेतवनाश्रमे अग्निहोत्रं च दर्शश्च पूर्णमासश्च पूर्ववत चातुर्मास्यानि च मुनेः आम्नातानि च नैगमैः एवं चीर्णेन तपसा मुनिर्दमनि सन्ततः मां तपोमयमाराध्य ऋषिलोकाद् उपैति माम यस्त्वेतत् कृच्छ्रतश्चीर्णं तपो निःश्रेयसं महत् कामायाल्मीयसे युञ्जात् बालिशः कोपरस्ततः यदासौ नियमे कल्पः जरया जातवेपथुः आत्मनि अग्नीन् समारोप्य मच्चित्तोऽग्निं समाविशेत यदा कर्म विपाकेषु लोकेषु निरयात्मसो विरागो जायते सम्यक् न्यस्ताग्निः प्रव्रजेत् ततः इष्ट्वा यथोपदेशं मां दत्त्वा सर्वस्वं ऋत्विजे अग्नीन् स्वप्राण आवेश्य निरवेक्षः परिव्रजेद विप्रस्य वै सन्न्यसतः देवादारादिरूपिणः विघ्नान् कुर्वन्तयं ह्यस्मान् आक्रम्य समयात् परम्। बिभ्र्याच्चेन्मुनिर्वासः। ओम ओम बिभ्रूयाच्चेन्मुनिर्वासः कौपीनाच्छादनं परं त्यक्तं न दण्डपात्राभ्याम् अन्यत् किञ्चित् अनावदे दृष्टिभूतं न्यसेत्पादं वस्त्रभूतं पिबेत् जलं सत्यभूतां वदेद्वाणीं मनःपूतं समाचरेत् मौनानिहानिलायाम दण्डा वाग्देहचेतसां न ह्येते यस्य सन्त्यङ्गा वेणुभिर्न भवेत् यतेः भिक्षां चतुर्षु वर्णेषु विगर्ह्यान् वर्णयन्श्चरेत सप्तागारान् संक्लुप्तान् तुष्ये लब्धेन यावता बहिर्जलाशयं गत्वा तत्रोपस्पृश्य वाग्यतः विभज्य पावितं शेषं भुञ्जीता शेषमाहृतम् एकश्चरेन्महीमेतां निस्सङ्गः संयतेन्द्रियः आत्मक्रीडश्चात्मरतः आत्मवान् समदर्शनः विविक्तक्षेमशरणः मद्भावविमलाशयः आत्मानं चिन्तयेद् एकम् अभेदेन मया मुनिः अन्वीक्षेतात्मनो बन्धं मोक्षं च ज्ञाननिष्ठया बन्ध इति इन्द्रियविक्षेपः मोक्ष येषां च संयमः तस्मान् नियम्य षड्वर्गं मद्भावेन चरेन्मुनिः विरक्तः क्षुल्लकामेभ्यः लब्ध्वात्मनि सुखं महता पुरग्रामव्रजान् सार्धान् भिक्षार्थं प्रविशंश्चरेत् पुण्यदेशसरिच्छैल वनाश्रमवतें महेम वानप्रस्थाश्रमपदेषु अभीक्ष्णं भैक्ष्यमाचरेत् संसिद्ध्यत्वाश्वसम्मोहः शुद्धसत्त्वः शिलान्धसा नैतद्वस्तुतया पश्येत् दृश्यमानं विनश्यते असक्तचित्तो विरमेद इहामुत्र चिकीर्षितात् यदेतदात्मनि जगत् मनोवाक्प्राणसंहतं सर्वं मायेति तर्केण स्वस्थस्त्यक्त्वा न तत्स्मरेत ज्ञाननिष्ठो विरक्तो वा मद्भक्तो वानपेक्षकः सलिंगान् आश्रमान् त्यक्त्वा चरेद् अविधिगोचरः बुधो बालकवत् क्रीडेतो कुशलो जडवच्छरेतो वदेद् उन्मत्तवत् विद्वान् गोचर्यां नैगमश्चरेत वेदवादरतो न स्यात् न पाषण्डी न हैतुकः शुष्कवादविवादेन कञ्चित् पक्षं समाश्रयेद नोद्विजेत जनाद्धीरः जनं चोद्वेजयेन्नतो अतिवादान् सितिक्षेत नावमन्येत कञ्चन देहमुद्दिश्य पशुवत् वैरं कुर्यात् न केनचित् एक एव परो ह्यात्मा भूतेष्वात्मन्यवस्थितः यथेन्दुरुदपात्रेषु भूतान्येकात्मकानि च अलब्ध्वा न विषीदेत काले काले शनं क्वचित् लब्ध्वा न हृष्येत् धृतिमान् उभयं दैवयन्त्रितम् आहारार्थं समेहेत युक्तं तत्प्राणधारणं तत्त्वं विमृश्यते तेन तद्विज्ञाय विमुच्यते यदृच्छयोपपन्नान्नम् अद्यात् श्रेष्ठमुदावरम् तथा वासस्तथा शय्यां प्राप्तं प्राप्तं भजेन्मुनेः शौचमाचमनं स्नानं न तु चोदनयाचरेतो अन्यांश्च नियमान् ज्ञानी यथाहं लीलयेश्वरः न हि तस्य विकल्पाख्या या च मद्वीक्षया हता आदेहान्तात् क्वचित्थात् ख्यातिः ततः सम्पद्यते मया दुःखोदर्केषु कामेषु जातनिर्वेद आत्मवान् अजिज्ञासितमद्धर्मः गुरुं मुनिम् उपाव्रजेत तावत् परिचरेत् भक्तः श्रद्धावान् अनसूयकः यावत् ब्रह्म विजानीयात् मामेव गुरुमादृतः यस्त्वसंयत षड्गरः षड्वर्गः प्रचण्डेन्द्रियसारथिः ज्ञानवैराग्यरहितः त्रिदण्डमुपजीवते सुरान्मात्मानमात्मस्थं निहनुते मां च धर्मः अविपक्वकषायोऽस्मात् अमुष्माच्च विहीयते भिक्षोर्धर्मः शमो हिंसा तप ईक्षावनौकसः गृहिणो भूतरक्षेज्य द्विजस्याचार्यसेवनम् ब्रह्मचर्यं तपः शौचं सन्तोषो भूतसौहृदं गृहस्थस्याप्युतौ गन्तुः सर्वेषां मधुवासनम् इमां यः स्वधर्मेण भजन्नित्यमनन्यभाक् सर्वभूतेषु मद्भावः मद्भक्तिं विन्दते दृढाम् भक्त्योद्धवानपायिन्या सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सर्वोत्पत्त्यप्ययं ब्रह्म कारणं मोपयाति सः इति स्वधर्मनिर्निक्तः నిర్నిక్త సత్వో నిర్జ్ఞాతమద్గతిః జ్ఞాన విజ్ఞాన సంపన్నః న చిరాత్ సముపైతి మామ వర్ణాశ్రమవతాం ధర్మః ఏష ఆచార లక్షణః స ఏవ మద్భక్తియుతః నిశ్రేయసకరః పరః ఏతత్తే భీతం సాధో భవాన్ పృచ్చతి యచ్చ మాం యథా స్వధర్మ సంయుక్తః భక్తో మాం సమయాత్ పరమ్. ఇది శ్రీమద్భాగవతే మహాపురాణే పారమహంస్యాం సంహితాయాం ఏకాదశ స్కంధే అష్టాదశోऽధ్యాయः. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. ఓం శ్రీకృష్ణ శరణం మమ, శ్రీభాగవత శరణం మమ, శ్రీ సద్గురు శరణం మమ, శ్రీ సూత శరణం మమ, శ్రీ సుఖదేవ శరణం మమ, శ్రీ వ్యాస శరణం మమ, శ్రీ నారద శరణం మమ, శ్రీ కుమార శరణం మమ, శ్రీ బ్రహ్మ శరణం మమ, శ్రీ విష్ణు శరణం మమ, శ్రీ పరబ్రహ్మ శరణం మమ, శ్రీకృష్ణ శరణం మమ, శరణం మమ, శరణం మమ. శ్రీకృష్ణ గోవింద హరే మురారే, హే నాథ నారాయణ వాసుదేవ. శ్రీకృష్ణ గోవింద హరే మురారే, హే నాథ నారాయణ వాసుదేవ. శ్రీకృష్ణ గోవింద హరే మురారే, హే నాథ నారాయణ వాసుదేవ. ఓం మూకం కరోతి వాచాలం పంగుం లంఘయతే గిరిం యత్కృపాతమహం వందే పరమానందమాధవం. ఓం స్వర్గే సత్యే చ కైలాసే వైకుంఠే నాస్త్యం రసః అదపి బంధు సద్భాగ్యాహమాముంచితగరిచిత. ఓం నమో భగవతే వాసుదేవాయ. ఓం శ్రీకృష్ణ పరబ్రహ్మణే నమః. శ్రీమద్భాగవత మహాపురాణ ఏకాదశ స్కంధః ముక్తిరిత్వాన్యథా రూపం స్వరూపేణ వ్యవస్థిత్యథ అష్టాదశోऽధ్యాయः. శ్రీ భగవానువాచ. సమస్త భాగవతాచార్యులకి హృదయపూర్వకంగా నమస్కరిద్దాం. అలాగే పరస్పరం కూడా ఈ విషయము సబ్జెక్టు చాప్టర్తో పాటు ట్యూన్ అవుదాం. ఒక మంచి మనస్సుని శ్రద్ధని కలిగి ఉందాం. శాస్త్రం చదువుకుందాం, శాస్త్రం నేర్చుకుందాం, శాస్త్రాన్ని ఆచరిద్దాం, శాస్త్రంలో చెప్పిన తత్వాన్ని అనుభవంలోకి తెచ్చుకొని ముక్తులం అవుదాము అనేటువంటి సహృదయత ప్రతి సత్సంగానికి ముందు ఉండాలి, ఏ సత్సంగానికి వెళ్ళినా. అలాగే సాధనా కాలంలో కూడా సాధనకు ముందు ఇలా మనను మనం మెంటల్గా ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకుంటే మన వల్ల చక్కగా ఆ యొక్క సాధన అనేది జరుగుతుంది. సో ఇదే విధంగా మనం కూడా ప్రార్థిస్తూ ఇంత చక్కని బోధ పరమాత్మ కృష్ణయ్య మనం చేశాడు, ప్రస్ఫుటంగా ఉన్నది. ఇందులో ఉద్దేశం ఏంటి? వర్ణాశ్రమ ధర్మాలు మనకు చెప్పడంలో ఈ సిస్టమాటిక్ విధానంతో మన బుద్ధ్యాదులు వికసిస్తాయి. అందులో తత్వ నిర్ధారణ, తత్వ విచారణ, తత్వ అనుభూతి అన్నీ కలిగి ముక్తి లభిస్తుంది. కనుక ఇలా జీవించి మీ జన్మని సార్థకం చేసుకోండి అని కరుణతో దయతో పరమాత్మ శాశ్వత పరిష్కారాన్ని మనకిస్తున్నాడు. మరి అంతే శ్రద్ధతో మనం కూడా స్వీకరిస్తే, ఆ స్వీకరించడానికి లోపల ఏ అవరోధాలు ఉన్నాయో వాటన్నిటిని మనం జాగ్రత్తగా తొలగించేసి స్వీకరిస్తే ఫస్ట్ బాగుపడేది మనం. అండ్ మనం బాగుంటే ప్రపంచం బాగుంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే ప్రపంచం అనేది మనందరం కలిస్తేనే అవుతుంది కనుక. సో ఈ విధంగా శాస్త్ర జ్ఞానము, శాస్త్రంలో చెప్పిన సాధన ద్వారా వ్యష్టిగా మనమే కాకుండా సమష్టికి కూడా ఇవాల్వ్ అవ్వడానికి మనం తోడ్పడిన వాళ్ళం అవుతాం. అలా కాకుంటే శాస్త్రోక్తం ఆచరించాలా, మనం ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టు చేస్తున్నాం, దానివల్ల మనం దిగజారుతాం, మన వల్ల ప్రపంచానికి నష్టం, మనం చూసి 10 మంది కూడా మిస్గైడ్ అవుతారు. సో అది సరైన విధానం కాదు. అండ్ ఇక్కడ పరమాత్మ చెప్పిన విధానంతో జీవించి చూస్తూ ఉంటే అందులోని సత్యం ఏదో, అందులోని లబ్ధి ఏదో మనకే ప్రస్ఫుటంగా కనిపిస్తుంది. అది లెట్ us ట్రై, టెస్ట్, లర్న్ and go ahead. Like all these classes we do, from so many days, definitely we are observing some changes in us. So with this observation, taking these shastras as true, real, with faith, when we follow them, the first beneficiary is me. Then I being the part of total is accumulation of the individuals, total also grows. If it is not so, I don't follow the Shastra, I live life according to my own choice. Consequently, I first of all fall and suffer. Thereafter, I'll be a misguide to the world around. So, all these beautiful instructions of Varnashrama Dharma given to us by Lord out of His own love and concern. He, oh my dear human, have given you human life and all facility guidance. Use it, evolve, grow, open, expand, enjoy. Otherwise, there's no need for the Lord to speak so much, no need for all the Guru Parampara to bring this literature up to us. Time and again it is tested and proved to be true. Anybody who held on to the Shastra and Guru Charana and Bhagavad Charana, all of them have expanded in their understanding and they knew what is true, what is untrue, what is to be sought, what is to be given up. They all felt that feeling of joy, feeling of peace, a feeling of that fulfillment in themselves. So we are also studying the Shastra not for just passing time, not because of some fear ki if you don't remember the Lord, He may curse us. Not for some ego to gather some information. Information is very much there. No, no, no. All these are evolving guidances, transforming guidances to us. In that spirit, when we adopt them, we can see the change. But for this, left to ourselves, our life is what we all know. Our capacities are what we know. What we will do, everyone of us are very clear about it. So, having said so, in 17th chapter, having seen Brahmacharya, Grahastha Ashrama Dharma, Bhagavan started explaining to us the VAANAPRASTHA Ashrama Dharmas in the 18th chapter, and after that, we will be seeing exhaustively in the entire chapter more than 25 verses talking about the Sannyasa Ashrama. So beautiful. Though those rules are spoken for Sannyasa Ashramins, when you study them, you will see that they are required for all of us rather than that wherever we are at a certain age after growing through all the life. These values, when we follow, we slowly become qualified for that ultimate truth. That's called Sannyasa Ashrama. Sannyasa Ashrama is where our inner bosom is khali, empty, to be filled by the Guru Upadesha of the Tattva. That's called Sannyasa Ashrama actually. Now, what was said to us, we saw 6, 7 slokas. What we will see that and go ahead. First, Vanam Vivikshuhu Putreshu Bharyam Nyasa Sahevava. So, take care of the wife before you go to the Vanaprastha Ashrama by properly handing over her with proper discussion decision to the children. If she says wants to go with you, take her. Second point, Vana eva vaset shantaha, stay in the forest, be in the shanti. Don't get agitated to go back, etc. And don't be feeling about inconveniences of the Vana ashrama, because anywhere the human mind and body given by the Lord is such, it gets accustomed, adjusted. Is it not? Even a multi-millionaire, if he stays in a slum house, 4 or 5 days, it looks to be very bad. After that, he'll get adjusted to that. That facility, if the Lord has not given to us, we would have become stubborn not to change our places. Every day we change our place from the home onto the road to the office, in the shop, in a theater, in a mall. Everywhere the atmosphere is different. If my mind and body is not adjusting, I would have not gone anywhere. That's the meaning of Shantaha. Then, Trutiyam Bhagamayushaha, the third part of your whole life, spend in that way in Vana Prasthasrama way. Food, Kandamula Falaihi Vanyaihi, Medhyaihi, Vrutima Prakalpayet. So take care of your livelihood through Kandamula Phala and Medhya. All vegetarian, Kandamula Phaladi, very sattvika. No, all God given. No manipulations in that, no pollutions in that. That adds to the natural health of the Deha. That's one thing. Then Vasita Valkalam Vasa Truna Parnani Janija, about the clothing, Valkala Truna Parna, all that in modern world means living in minimum clothing and all. Next, Kesha Roma Namakashmashrumalan Vibriyata means what? Don't worry too much about all the hair cutting, coloring, and all that. Then Data Nadhaved means even minding about all cosmetics, don't worry. Apsu Majjeta Trikalama means to be fresh always in Sattva Guna, to do the Upasana thrice a day, taking the bath. Standileshaya, non-dependency, learn the art of lying on the ground only without any of the dependencies. Standileshaya. You can try one day sleeping on the floor. Bhumata will wake you up at 3:30 exactly, Brahma Muhurta time, telling you to do sadhana. You can see that. Take my word. You know, she will wake you up morning. And it's only a question of 1 or 2 minutes you may feel sleepy, all that. But otherwise, the mother's grace would be, because you are lying on her lap, no? That she will make us fresh, ready for our own whatever sadhana. Early mornings we have to do. So mainly the Vanaprastha is Thandileshaya. Learn to sleep on the floor. Because everywhere you can't take a palang and all. Next we saw about the tapasyas. In all the three rutus, three kala, we should be ready to do that tapasya of going through such difficulties by which our identity with the deha, consequently our identity with the emotions of mind, etc., we conquer. The mind and body are connected, is it not? When the body goes through some tough period, mind also gets identified and suffers. With that mind, I identify, therefore I suffer. And to meditate on Paramatma, who is beyond Nama Rupadi, who is the Tattva Swarupa, Sat Swarupa, our Tadatma with Deha, Indriya, Mana should be given up. For that only the tapasya is done. Tapasya is not to torture the body. Tapasya is not for any worldly gains here. Tapasya is to be able to learn to withstand to the odds according to the weather, atmosphere, food, etc. So that consistently we can be on the sadhana. If that is not done, if that mastery is not gained over deha and senses and mana, it will be so chanchala, you can't focus on even name of the Lord in the japa sadhana. The japa sadhana, namasmarana, if we cannot focus, how can we remember the Veda mantras, Upanishad mantras and contemplate on the self or the truth? It's an impossible proposition. Therefore, the tapasya is recommended. What is to be done in the summer? Panchagni tapasya. Four sides fire and upar se Bhagavan Surya. Still you are there in that doing your tapas. It will be hot. It will be as if burning. It will be so much of pasina vagara and all sweat. Yet you have planned to sit for half an hour, 1 hour. You did that japa. That way, regularly when done, then body becomes accustomed to that weather. It won't demand now when it is hot, the cool things, etc. That's what we have to achieve. 1 to 2 years when it is done, in all the extreme weathered places also, if this tapasya is done for 1 2 years, let the weathers change, but it won't affect. It's true in North India, we can see people go through such a odd weathers, summer and sardi or May. Many of them know how to manage because they did that tapasya. Such facilities not there in South India because it's only hot there. They have not seen the cool atmosphere or the cool weather of winter. So that's why when they go to winter places, cold places, 2 दिन अच्छा लगता है. उसके बाद every part of the body oozes only. But then there is a chance. So Panchagni Tapasya in गर्मियों में, in summers, then Varshasu Asara Shat Jale, in the rainy season without the dar, standing under the raining water, then do your tapasya. Then Akantamagne Shishre, in winters up to the neck level, stay in that water, do your whatever japa dhyanam. Wonderful, very tough. थोड़ा थोड़ा होता है, कोई भी तपस्या ओवरनाइट जरूर तुरंत नहीं होता. We have to master ourselves. Little by little we have to do and master. It is everything. Control the indriyas, control the deha, doing japa adi, upasana adi, dhyana adi. ये धीरे 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 करते 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 we have to master. Systematically, regularly, sincerely. Sincerity and regularity is the price we have to pay. Regularly sincere, sincerely regular. Not regularly irregular and sincerely insincere. नहीं होना चाहिए. So in this way, in 3 kala, how tapasya vanaprasthi should do is told. Evam vruttah tapah chareto. So this is direct guidance given. It can be understood relatively. The idea is what finally, the seasons should not become a hindrance in our chosen tapasya. Else what? सर्दियों में सर्दी करके सुबह उठेंगे नहीं, क्लास में नहीं आएंगे. गर्मी है करके एसी में बैठेंगे, क्लास में नहीं आएंगे. बारिश में बाहर नहीं निकल सकते इसलिए क्लास में नहीं आएंगे. So decided. Nowadays, all the tension is gone. You stay in your house, and I in my place. Put all ACs, whatever you want, listen the class. ये बढ़िया फैसिलिटी कलयुग में. All the ऋषि मुनि must be feeling very jealous of us. But some of them have that Dura Shravanam, Dura Darshanam Siddhi, with which the disciple used to listen from far distance and Guru used to teach. That's how happens in Nanda Devi. Bhagavan Shiva as Dakshinamurti teaches to all the rishis in a far off mountain seated. वहां से यहाँ से सुनाते हैं, वो सुनते रहते हैं. They only come to us to teach. So this is how the Vanaprasthi should conquer the weathers as well as the Deha. And Deha के पीछे इंद्रियां, उसके पीछे मन. तपस्या इज मनसस्य इंद्रियाणाम ऐक्राग्र्यम नियंत्रणम परमम तपः. हो गया. Now about the food, it is said again कि अग्निपक्वम सम अश्नीयात. Kandamula, when they are there, they can be in the fire, they can be cooked, whatever that can be consumed that way. Kalapakvam, the fruits, etc., when they are ripened on the trees, or you can pluck them, keep there, they get pakwa. कच्चा पपीता ला के रखो, अब 4 दिन में देखो कितना मीठा हो जाता है. इवन द आम आल्सो घास में लगा दो, चावल में लगा दो. सीताफल चाल में लगाते हैं हम, और आम जो है घास फूस लगा के, you can see that green arm becoming yellow in a week's time. Did you do that, Arm? I've gone through all that. Around 500 mangoes at one time we have put and made them. When they became fruits, we have distributed to all the neighbors. Even Sitaphalam, all that. It's called as Kalapakva. Those who have ripened the fruits, etc., then you can eat them. Kalapakvam, Samashniyat. Third one, Ulukala Ashmakuttaha. उलूकला मीन्स द पेसल, उसमें पाउंड करके पाउडर बनाकर, जो सब सारे जो है ना गेहूं का आटा वाटा के पीस करके उलूकला. अश्मकुट्टा मीन्स विद द स्टोन और एनी आयरन थिंग पाउंडिंग इन दैट. उलूकला इज व्हेन यू डू लाइक दिस एंड पाउंडिंग इज अश्मकुट्टा. So in this way we can make the food available for readily consumable for us. Or danto ulukala evava. So if you are strong in your teeth, then make the danta only ulukala. Challenge yourself and chew as much as you can and live. So these are the things, when we are careful, our dependencies are getting reduced. Our mind becomes free for our sadhana. That's what is a tapasya. Tapasya is mind free for sadhana at any time. Neither it is consumed by tamoguna or nidra, both because of lack of food or excessive food or wrong food, nor it should be running toward because of rajoguna through the indriyas because of desires. That achievement to mind, that way which is controlled, alone can be employed for any of the adhyatmic upasana sadhanas. Then only the depth of doing will be there. Then only the joys which are hidden, because of which these traditions are coming from time immemorial, we will be able to recognize. We are doing puja, but the aswadana of the rasa of the puja has not yet come, because with controlled mind and senses we have not yet learned to do them. Even satsanga. When you learn the art of satsanga, in which we bring our matimana chitalai, sunyatata matimana chitalai, we can see every class, every thought is so refreshing, so inspiring. Then he says, Dantolukalevam. From here we have to see the shlokas today. Swayam sanchinivat sarvam atmanaha vritti karanam. So atmanaha vritti karanam. Vritti means livelihood. Vritti means living. Whatever is required as a vanaprasthi for your life, swayam sanchiniyata, one should collect all those things, arrange all those things by oneself. Sarvam, no dependency on anything or anybody. Otherwise, you will come into debts, you will come into obligations. Sarvam vrittam sanchiniyat, including making your own kutia in the ashrama, protecting it again and again, if at all rains, winds come. There again, plucking your flowers for the puja, you have to do, don't depend on others. Then again laziness comes. Tapasya means using my own dendra mana buddhi for Bhagavad Seva. How can I employ it for others? They get the punya. I get very less. So too, when we go and get the fruits, we have to do them. Whenever we have to make naivedyam, do it by yourself. Your own personal washing clothes or utensil, whatever required, you do yourself. This is very essential in Vanaprastha ashram. Even at home, when you try it, you can see the difficulty in that also, and you can see the joy of doing that, even it is difficult. Like that's how when the women go to Maika, then husband makes his cooking. He knows that time how difficult it is, but he cherishes it. Oh, I have done it by own. Any work, when done by oneself, gives more joy than getting it done from others. It's a dependency. And lot of that person whose help we have taken, that person's thoughts, etc., fall on us. We get unnecessarily obliged. नो नीड. स्पष्ट रूप से भगवान ने वानप्रस्थियों को कहा. Else, the more you are depending and more demands you have, slowly the people lose their respect on us, value for us. Then they start praying to Bhagwan. Bhagwan, jaldi inko le jao. That is the way. Minimum you have to have. And in that maintain yourself. फिर कि स्वयं संचिनुयात सर्वम आत्मनः वृत्ति कारणम. And then desha kala balaभिज्ञः. And desha, which place you are there, kalaha, which season is there, bala, your own ability, strengths. Bala vigna is two things here. If you can climb the tree, climb even tadka paid and get the fruits. If not, take your own third leg called a danda and pluck those guava fruits, whatever are achievable. That is about the bala. अपने बल के अनुसार. Second bala is the bala of your digestion and all. Your own bala of digestion, on that you consume the food. Your own physical bala, according to that you make the arrangements. It is such an important thing, I tell you. Very essential. And it will be known by one when he lives all alone. All demands, all requirements, all necessities start getting reduced. He may be having 100 dresses, I'm just telling you. But only two he will use because he cannot wash all of them and all that. But इसी से चलाते हो. Even the food also, so many things you can't make. Therefore, एक चावल या रोटी या दाल हो जाते हो. दाल रोटी खाओ, प्रभु के गुण गाओ. These are the benefits when we learn to live alone. Else, so much of dependency, so much of runagrastata. देश काल बल अभिज्ञा. हाँ, आप किस देश में हो, किस काल में हो, उस समय क्या चाहिए है और क्या मिल सकता है. Keeping that in mind, your own bala. The शारीरिक बल mainly. Even upasanas, anushtanas also should be edited as we grow in age. Else what happens? The people at home are not interested and you want to do that and you will not do and you people impose on them to do all the arrangements. 1 day, 2 days anybody will do. Every day अगर तुम पूजा सामान दो के लाओ ये तैयार करो बहू 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 करे तो बहू will feel so bad. She cannot do. Why should she do? You do whatever in your capacity. Bhagavan will not feel bad. And who told that is a puja, upasana, where which you can't do but insisting on others, which they don't like? These are the things because of which the quarrels happen at home. We, forgetting our own limitation capacity, seek extra. Others don't like it and unnecessary disturbance comes. This word Deshakala Vala Avijna is very essential. Whether you are at home as Vanaprasthi mainly, and when you are all alone, you will automatically learn that. संचिनिया तो स्वयं हो गया. देन ना आददीत अन्यत आहृतम. देखो, अन्यत prepared by others, अन्यत आहृतम given by others. Don't depend on that. Then you always will wait for it. Somebody will bring some gift to me, etc. In fact, as we become old and vanaprasthi, if this is not understood that this is how we have to live life and this is called sadhana, we always look out for somebody to come and help us. That become very painful thing. So, very spashta रूप से भगवान says न आददीत अन्यद आहृतम. अन्यद आहृतम न आददीत. The things which are given by others, don't depend on them. Don't seek them. Say no to them. That's it. मुझे जो चाहिए मेरे पास है. This is how the dependency from the world is withdrawn. Living in minimum is learnt. Contentment also is learnt. Conservative time is used for the inner sadhanas of japa, dhyana, itya. That's why Vanaprasthi slowly should purify himself. There are two purifications happening. Depending on the world is reducing, agitations of the minds are also going away. And we can see the heart so lighter when this is done. One can feel it. Okay. Next he says, Vannaishcharu purodashaihe nirvapet kala choditan. So according to the time, with the vana available, charu and purodasha, whatever the yajnas, kratos are, those weekly or monthly upasanas, which you are doing when you are in Grahastha Ashrama, they have to be continued. In fact, they have to be done more aggressively, more vigorously, more systematically, more regularly. So for a sannyasi, yajnaga kratu are not there, but for a vanaprasthi, they are there. And then natu shrautena pashuna mam yajeta vanashrami. Then that pashu sambandita yajnayaga one need not do. Where will you go and catch a deer or anything? So simple charu and purodasha you can make with that. Charu purodasha means one, the rice which is there and या कोई भी कुछ चीज जिससे पकाया हुआ चीज जो भगवान को समर्पण करते है ना, the खीर वगैरह जो भगवान को ऑफर करते हैं, charu purodasha, they are called in yajnas. Okay. Now what are the yajnas? Agnihotram cha. Agnihotra is nitya agnihotra. Every day agnihotra swahakaras are there. Few ahutis for devatas, some for pitru, some for this rishigana, some for bhuta, some for the manusha. Swahakara pancharuna clear करने के लिए panchayagna called as nitya agnihotra. Then darsha and purnamasa are the special yajnas done during full moon days and new moon days as sadhana. Then purvatu, as they were being done during grahastha ashrama, they should not be given up because they are the support. Every sadhana is a twofold support for us. One, we are holding our mind. Second, with the mind we are holding the Lord. If these things are not there, holding the Lord will not be there, and we can't hold the mind. Mind goes on going in its own imaginations, in its own misguidance taken by all the worldly people. Now see every day for us, सुबह होते ही 10 बजे class, शाम को 6 class, mind is held there. Your mind is focusing there. Let us go to class, let us learn. What an absolute gain it is, what a wonderful gain. And in that also, we hold on to the mind, and with the mind, we hold on to the Shastra. Through the Shastra, we are holding on to the Lord. पूरा पकड़ जकड़ कर हुआ नहीं, but धीरे धीरे हो रहा है ना, नहीं तो? Remember, after thousands of lives, those who have become great Mahatmas, from where their genuine sadhana started, we are at that level of being regular to our study of Shastras and remembering about the reality, truth, self, God, spiritual sadhana. Thousands of lives after living, those who became Mahatmas, in 3-4 lives, what final sadhanas they did, we are at that level. It's only 2-3 things called as conviction about the truth and withdrawing ourselves from the world and focusing on it through meditation and inner and outer sadhana. Then it starts happening. So how can we leave it and go? So all sadhanas necessary because they make us hold the mind, with the mind hold the Lord. So even in Vanaprastha ashrama, whatever are done, that they have to be done. So Darsha and Purnamasa and all Nityagnihotra. Then another important thing which has to be more systematically, committedly done by, should be done by Vanaprastha is Chaturmasya cha. Chaturmasya Diksha. Actually for entire year is a sadhana, but especially those Chaturmasas of rainy season where we can't go out all that thing, taking nishtha, samanushtana, he should do it more committedly. Depending on our position, our Guru's upadesha to us, our requirement, our abilities, different things are taken on Chaturmasya. Few common things are, some japa nishtha will be there, some upasana nishtha will be there, some parayana nishtha will be there, some shastra adhyana nishtha will be there, some dhyana nishtha. During those Chaturmasa, 4 months, those targets are kept and one keeps on doing it. That's how we started our Bhagavad Ramayana July 1, 2020. अब 2 साल होने को आ रहा है. That was the first day of Chaturmas. VV. We started Bhagavata and August 5th we started Valmiki Ramayana. Going on almost 2 साल. इस जुलाई तक हो जाएगा, चिंता मत करो. So Chaturmasya Vratani, then Munehe, for this Muni, who is in the Vanaprasthi, Amnatani cha Naigamaihi. The Nigamas which are given as order, we must practice them. नहीं तो क्या होगा, माइंड टेंशन में आ जाएगा, वरी हो जाएगा टू मच अबाउट द वर्ल्ड, अबाउट अगेन बैक टू आवर वर्ल्डलीनेस. मेरे बच्चों का क्या हो रहा है, यू गेट बी engaged in that. Physically we might have gone into Vanaprastha, but if we have not engaged spiritually there, we go back to the world. And that continuous thinking one day pushes one really to leave that Vanaprastha and go back to the old lifestyle of no sadhana. This is what is for Vanaprasthi. Further, he says, what a beautiful shloka here. Evam, in this way, chirnena tapasa. When the intense tapasya is done, that munihi, that Vanaprasthi, dhamani santataha. He should become a dhamani santataha, means all his veins and nerves should be seen on the body very clearly. That much thin and lean he should become. And I tell you, our Param Guru Tapon Maharaj, he has perfectly done this. When he was in young age and all of that up to his 65, how stout, how strong, how hefty, how well built he was. Now you see Tapon Maharaj's last few months of, or maybe years of tapasya in his deha, he's so thin and lean, dhamani santata. That's not required for him, he was already in Brahmanishtha, but that Shastrokta thing he has done. धमनि संततः ऐसा होना चाहिए तपस्या से ये वानप्रस्थि. That is a sign. धमनि संततः. Then माम तपोमयम आराध्य ऋषिलोकाद माम उपैति. While going through all these external and internal sadhana, the innermost sadhana is mam tapomayam aradhya. Doing aradhana of me, the Lord who is tapomaya. Lord himself is doing tapasya, maintaining the world. In the morning class also we saw Jata Veda say, Telugu people know it. Lord anyway doing his tapasya, and Lord is tapomaya rupa. See, Tapon Maharaj ko humne yaad kiya, his name came here, Tapomaya. Paramaguru is with us, blessing us. Thank you, Maharaj. Mam tapomaya aradhya, tapomaya bante huए, doing the aradhana of the absolute truth, Rushiloka. First he goes into the Rushiloka. That's called Maharloka. From that Maharloka, direct way to Brahma, or he may go to Brahmaloka, and from there he will get the Brahma Anubhuti. By the grace of Brahmadeva, teachings of Brahmadeva. So specifically, clearly told here. He'll go to Rushiloka. In the Maharloka, all the Rishis are only there. So Mahar, Jana, Tapaha, these three are the Utkrishta Urdhva Lokas, where these requirements of the worldliness, too much of Dehadi, they are not there. So all the tension is gone. There only they do Tavasya, and Nishtha in the Tattva. For that only every Anushtana is done. That's what is sadhana. So ऋषि लोक में पहुंच कर पहले वहां से मुझे पहुंच जाएंगे. माम तपोमयम आराध्या. Here aradhana means seeking, wanting, except Lord, nothing else. So the Vanaprastha should fully prepare himself in the mind that he is a seeker of the Lord and he is living a life of tapasya, austerity. These have to be very clear, and any other thought contrary to this has to be nipped at the bud level. It should never be encouraged. Otherwise the Maya will enter us. Ho gaya, now ho gaya. He says, these tapasyas which when we are done, they can be exchanged for the worldly sukha bhoga also. It's of the Lord. Such a great tapasya you do, and when Lord asks you, do you want Preya or Shreya as a result of this tapasya? If you seek Preya from the Lord, you are childish only. Therefore, Bhagavan is hinting at here. When you're working hard, work hard for the ultimate, not again for the same binding things. In this shloka, he says, so, yahatu etat kruchratah chiranam tapaha. With all these difficulty, when one has controlled the mind from all temptations, senses, deha ityadi, such a tough, difficult tapasya he has done, nishreyasam mahata. It is the giver of the nishreyas. Focus yourself on Lord true meditation. Such a wonderful one. Kamaya alpiyase yunjat. If for the alpa kama, if you are exchanging this tapasya, etc., balishaha ko aparaha tataha. Who is more childish fool than that person? Balisha matlab murkha, child, fool. Who can be foolish and childish? Then that person who is exchanging all these tapasyas for the sake of worldly bhoga again. In generally, as a human being itself, we should all be educated that, as it was said, Brahmanas deha tapase, not for the bhoga. Not only Brahmana, every human body is for evolution. This is how the education should be given from the childhood. Then everybody will become tapomaya, jnanamaya, chinmaya, anandamaya. Is it not? But who is teaching that? So at least in Vanaprastha ashrama you must know. See, there also there is a problem. Even when we do tapasya, there may be lingering desires and all. Usko encourage nahi karna. Anytime the desire for the worldliness comes, immediately recognize it and replace it with the spiritual desire. Always keep on saying, may I become more and more dhyana nishta, shastra nishta, bhagavad charanaravindha bhakti nishta, guru sharanagati nishta. This is what we have to keep on saying to us. If we don't say, other things we will say, and that will happen. This is the only contribution we have to do to ourselves. Keep on entertaining these positive thoughts. They only become stronger and stronger sankalpa. Then they give us commitment from our side here. And these things are noticed by God. He will send such facilities by which we really fulfill this spiritual desire, spiritual vision. Hota hai wo. Just like when we keep on entertaining the worldly things, those become desires to us, and that is noticed by the Lord. He gives us, and we are bound in the world. See, ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः और ध्यायतः भगवन्तं पुंसः. Very careful there. You are a child if all the us are exchanging for worldliness. It's all sankalpa. And that's danger. Like if you fill in a check 10,000 rupees and cross करके sign करोगे, now it has cash. Anybody if it finds it, he'll deposit and get the money. In the same way, if you do sankalpa that with this tapasya I must get worldly thing, it's that sankalpa is like signing and giving the check to the banker teller called as God. He will give the worldly thing. Then this tapasya is wasted. And in that bhoga, go for how many lives we go in that we don't know. इसलिए शास्त्र समझ में आया ना आए, पूरा श्रद्धा बनाया ना बना, फिर भी भगवान ही लक्ष्य है, भगवान को ही पाने से मुक्ति है, इस बात को दृढ़ बनाते जाना और प्रार्थना में भी यही करना. लेट मी हैव दर्शन ऑफ द लॉर्ड, लेट मी हैव द विजन ऑफ द ऋषिज एंड मुनीस. कीप ऑन डूइंग दैट, कीप ऑन डूइंग दैट. With all the faith and experience also, we should not enter into the world. With all the doubts and non-experience also, we should do sankalpa only for God. That's how everybody from here to here, they shift themselves. So to we. So kamaya alpiyase yunjat balisha ka aparaha tataha. Who can be a more childish fool than that person? Extend it for the entire life also in general, not only for vanaprasthi. This thought, a positive thought, every day of mine, every moment of mine, I'll try to engage for spiritual sadhana, is a real fulfilling one. Okay? Now comes, okay, this is how almost vanaprastha ashramas, dharmas were told to us. Yadaso niyame akalpaha. If in doing all these niyamas, you are not capable, लॉन्ग टाइम कुछ समय के लिए करोगे, बाद में नहीं, वही जरया जात विपत हो, यू बिकम ओल्ड एंड बॉडी स्टार्टेड ट्रेम्बलिंग, everybody's hand will tremble after 80 85. If it is not done, Atmani Agnin Samaropya Machitaha Agnim Samaveshet. So, he should take up the next asana sannyasa where all these vratas etc. are not required to be done. Only pranavacharana, then aham brahmasmi vicharana, that's it. What is only for livelihood? You need not cook as it was said, na? Agni pakvam vagara bataya, and then you have to depend on yourself. This goes away for sannyasi. Sannyasi can go and beg everywhere. That is how the sannyasa dharmas will be told now. Therefore, that problem of cooking food, etc., is gone for a sannyasi because he is given a right to go and beg with all the rules. Then the problem of collecting things and doing this yajna, all of them are gone. But he'll be given a more tough job of continuously focusing on pranava and parabrahma. So, yada asau niyame akalpaha, in doing all the niyamas, is no more capable. Jaraya jata vepataho, has become old, he can't hold the things, etc. Atmani agnin samaropya, invoking the Agni Deva and in him offering himself, Machitta Agni Samaveshat, put his chitta in me and enter into me. How to do this sannyasa diksha srikaranam? It is said here. Yada karma vipakesho lokeshu nirayatmaso virago jayate samyak nyastagni pravrajet tadaha. That is what. This is the most important sloka. Very strong. He says, Yada, when karma vipakeshu lokeshu nirayatmasu viraga jayate samyak. When samyak viraga jayate, when a perfect detachment, dispassion has risen. About what? Lokeshu. Which are they? Karma vipakeshu. Vipaka means phala. Karma phala vale lok. This one also, hereafter also. All the lokas into which we are sent as a result of our karma. It can be Bhuloka, Punya Papa Samarup se karo to, it may be Narakadiloka, too many papas have done, even it may be a Svargaloka having done lot of Punya. All of them, we should know that Niraya Atma, so they are equivalent to Naraka only, because the end result is Dukkha. With this understanding, when the Vairagya is created in us toward the results of this world and other world. When you are not interested in the result, you are not bound by the karma. Such alone is worthy to take up sannyasa. Those who don't come to that level of vairagya and without that they take up sannyasa, they struggle. Or you take sannyasa as it comes to you by grace of Guru Parampara, but follow these things. See that this and otherworldly, all phalas are binding. I want only. Kim prajaya karishyama noyamatma lamiti. All our Chandogya Vrahdaranyaka so beautifully they talk. Uttreshanaya cha vitreshanaya cha lokeshanaya cha uttaya bhaikshcharyam charantaha brahmanveshnam karoti. When that vairagya comes, then what to do? Viraga jaya samyak न्यस्ताग्नि प्रव्रजेत ततः. न्यस्ताग्नि means that final viraja homa करते हुए उसमें अपने व्यक्तित्व with all the upadhis स्वाहा करके now only an individual remaining in the body till the body is prarabdha in the pursuit of truth. Other than that, to this body itself have no more identity. Then about the earlier generation, next generation, equivalent, the obligation, the duty, all of them are valid when I identify with body. But while taking sannyasa, in that sannyasa, Swayam Pinda, all that is done, therefore he has no tadapni deha, entire world se cut ho jate hain sambandh. In those Veda mantras, in that yajna, that power is there. And willingly one must do out of maturity after going through the life and seeing the limitations of everything. There's a healthy way. So all those yajnas, all those things are made to be done by those who are seeking the sannyasa ashrama. Enjoy that sannyasa ashrama. Each one of you. At least for a few months or a year or 2 years. Toward the last years, one must take it up. ऐसा नहीं कि टेस्ट करके फिर वापस आ जाना, दैट्स ऑलरेडी टोल्ड, डोंट गो बैक। बट दम है, हिम्मत है क्या? डरते हैं। ओहो। सो दिस इज हाउ व्हेन द वैराग्य कम्स, यद हरेव विरजेत तद हरेव प्रव्रजेत, आत्मेच्छ व्यवसीयतां निजगृहात् पूर्णं विनिर्गम्यताम्। Then, up to this, therefore, Grahastha Ashrama Dharmas are exhaustively explained. Ho gaya. Sorry, Vanaprastha Dharmas, very sorry. Now comes Sannyasa Dharma. यहाँ से ये बैटन इज हैंडेड ओवर फ्रॉम वानप्रस्थ टू संन्यास हो गया। अब सन्यासी को क्या करना है, पूरा चैप्टर, डोंट रन अवे, यू आर नॉट सन्यासी करके, देयर आर मेनी थिंग्स व्हिच आर यूजफुल फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस एज साधना। Otherwise, you may say, Swami, you are the only one who took sannyasa. You study it, leave it. Please jump this portion. You study at your own self home. No. So, Ishtva, how to do? Ishtva yatha upadesham mam. Having done my final puja, etc., through yajna ityadi, as enjoined in the Shastras, ये सब होते हो, 9 दिन का या 5 दिन का या 3 दिन का, तो संन्यास दीक्षा व्रत होता है। हाँ, it's very Bhayankar, all that. You are not allowed to be seen by others. Others don't see you. Those three days, when that Pinda Pradhan is done to ourselves, he is called as Preta only. He should not see anyone. Nobody should see him. And the fourth day, then this body is temporarily given, temporarily, for the sake of sadhana. बिकॉज कोई तो को दे चाहिए, अब नया कहाँ से बना के दे, तो इसी को दे देते हैं। देन फोर्थ डे ऑनवर्ड्स यू कैन अगेन come into the world with a totally new birth as a sannyasi with total different rules. Oh. If through proper system etc. one does, that kanti is different, that varchas is different, that wonderful it is. So what is first thing? Ishtva yathopadesham mam. फिर दत्वा सर्वस्वम ऋत्विजे, देन वॉट एवर द ओनरशिप पोजेशंस वी हैड अबाउट द थिंग्स अराउंड, सारे ब्राह्मण जिन्होंने कराया ये है ना, संन्यास दीक्षा वाला विराजा होम इत्यादि, उनको पूरा दे देना। नथिंग शुड बी देयर, संन्यास में नथिंग, सब दे दिया। देयरफॉर सर्वस्वम ऋत्विजे अग्निन स्वप्राण आवेश्य, अपने ही प्राण में अग्नियों को आवेश करके, निरपेक्ष, प्राण मीन देहेंद्रिय प्राण, अग्नि में आवेश करके, इन द सेंस देयर इज नो आइडेंटिटी विद देम फॉर एनी भोगा, फॉर एनी वर्ल्डली लाइफ, स्टिल दे आर विथ अस फॉर ओनली साधना। देन ही इज कॉल्ड एज निरपेक्ष, without any apeksha of here or here world or anything, parivrajeta, he can go as a parivrat. Parivrat means doesn't stay at one place, keeps on moving. Not staying at one place is not identifying with anything. Everywhere, wherever he sees, he goes on doing his practice of seeing the Lord inside as an Atma, seeing the Lord outside as the entire Jagat. From here, the sannyasa dharmas start in this particular chapter. Parivrajeta. And all options. One can take sannyasa, one can continue only in Vanaprastha, some may live in only Grahastha, don't take. Ab sab chal raha hai. If you ask the Lord or Shastra, they tell all this. Shastra is such thing, no. Even though it has guidance for even liberation, still it also cannot bind. Because it's in our freedom. नहीं follow करे तो मैं क्या करूँ? शास्त्र क्या करेगा? Is it not? If you understand, if you value them, love them, practice them. Otherwise, you will not fight with them or challenge. You don't follow Shastra, both Nastik and Jino. No, we want to have the matured guidance. See the gurus, rishis. They have practiced, reached, they conceived, and they gave all this guidance to us. Follow it, help yourself. Ho gaya. Now, the 14th shloka is so important. देखो क्या कहते हैं ना, विप्रस्य वै संन्यसतः, when a brahmana in pursuit of parabrahma tattva, when he takes up sannyasa in which he gives up everything, what happens to him? No? Very important. He says, Devaha vignan kurvanti. Even devatas only do that. Devatas alone give all the vignas to them. In what form? Dara adi rupena. To the sannyasi, the Dara, the women and wife Rupena, Devatas only create all the Vigna around them. Devatas, who are supposed to help, in fact. Very contradicting thing. Why is it so? Because he asman akramya samyat param. This fellow is slipping away from our hands and going beyond us. They are jealous. The Devata themselves depend on our ahutis. They are having their own bhoga enjoyment. Yes, they are appointed to bless us. Those powers are given to us, them, but they are not as great as a sannyasi. Therefore, if a jiva, a brahmana, taking up sannyasi, going beyond the upasanas of deva, because once he becomes sannyasi, he need not do any yajna agadi, agnihotradi, upasanadi. Therefore, those devatas who are regularly getting all the ahutis from him when he was in grast and vanaprastha, ration cut ho gaya. Then they become angry. So they send all kamana ityadi to test him, to trouble him, to bind him. Now you understand why those who seek highest spirituality are truth troubled by the devatas. But they know that's not going to be permanent. They with their nishtha and paramatma laksha, slowly they come out of all that. And the struggle which they go through at that time, they only know, like your struggles, you only know, others cannot know. Dharadi rupena. Viveka is there, Vairagya is there, Jnanam is there, all. But somehow or the other, somewhere or the other, they keep on putting those tests. So in Purana Itihasas, whichever the stories you study, they are like this one. That's what you see, Indra, he sends all the Ramba, Urashi, Menaka, anybody is doing the Vasya, thinking that he is doing it for Indrapada. Dekho? And the one who is doing really for Indrapada, he will really be disturbed. But the one who is doing it for the Lord, he will not become Chanchala. Then all those powers one day recede, disturbing him. Same devatas, once they understand that he is doing something higher for the truth, not to trouble us, etc., they themselves give the facilities of blessings required at those levels. But for a Brahmagnani, he is in Sadgana, Chidgana, Anandagana Brahma, he will not even recognize the presence of any of the devatas. He is gone beyond Maya. Only when you are in the level of Maya, you are avidya yukta jiva. You need a Ishvara who is having the whole power called as Maya in his control to bless you. जब उपाधि में जीव के रूप में है तभी हमें ईश्वर की जरूरत होती है. When I myself discover myself निरुपाधिक ब्रह्म, मुझे क्या काम है ईश्वर से? तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदमेद उपासते. So दारादि रूपेण, दारा रूप पुत्र रूपे. Otherwise, another way is what? In the form of ashramas, in the form of popularity, publicity, comparison, some worldly achievements, then name and fame. All these are, if it is not done after Brahmanubhuti as a service, as ordained by the Lord, they all can be bondages only. We may name it everything. I am serving the world, ये वो कुछ भी कहो, पर वो भी बंधन है. क्योंकि परमात्मा को पाने तक कुछ भी नहीं करना. दूसरी बात, we justify saying that is service, it is a runa, clearing to the rishi. ये सब हमारी बातें हैं, but actually तो you are convinced about the truth, pursue only that. Nothing else should be thought about. Shreyansi bahuvignani. It's at home also. Whenever wife or husband want to go for satsang, that time only the about spouse or spy they say, नहीं नहीं अब हम वहाँ जाएंगे, यहाँ जाएंगे. It's like that. Devaha dharadi rupinaha, dharadi rupinaha. They only come in that form. Okay, viprasavai sanyasataha, dharadi rupinaha devaha, vignan kurvanti. What is their reasoning? Ayam hi asman akramya samyak iyat param. He is going beyond us. He is bypassing us. How can he go? They themselves to be Vignam. So be prepared. That's how, before taking up sannyasa, all that, we discuss with all devatas. We do due upasanas. Hey Maharaj, chodo, jane do. Please allow us. Then when you do the Shiva upasana, Vishnu upasana, they tell all devatas, hey, he is now truly, genuinely Sikara Brahma Tattva. Now enough of your prayoga, just withdraw. The moment they withdraw, that sannyasi's heart is so free from all bondages. He just sits, closes his eyes, whatever mantra, vicharana he knows, through that he just transcends all sthula, sukshma, karana, he will be experiencing it. But till those devatas' trouble doesn't go away, he will be struggling only in his effort. He is taken sannyas, he is doing his sadhana, yet to these things. Spashta Rupa Bhagavan himself says, okay, now one by one shloka. The entire chapter from here about Vanaprastha, Sanyasa Dharmas only. And whichever feasible, practical in this world, in these timings, we must do. All said and done, the final conclusion is dependency on the world is zero-fied. Doing things for the propagation of Dehendriya Manabuddhi are zero. Entire life energy is spent only for the Atma Tattva Chintanam. He is called sannyas. Truly. Maximum. Few things are told here. Vipruya chet munihi vasaha. If you had to wear clothes, so what is the cloth maximum allowed? Kaupina achadanam param. Param is maximum. Kaupina achadanam, a loin cloth. Kaupinavanta, kalubhagyavanta, we have seen. Anything more than that, your mind is attracted towards it. You will slip from the contemplation on the truth. We come to the relative world. First about the vasa. Second one, tyaktam na danda patrabhyam anyat kinchidanam. Other than a danda and patra, whatever he gave up earlier, which he gave everything to the Rutvika, he should not take it back again. Anapadi, only in the case of emergency it is allowed. आपदा जब आता है देह का मरने का वगैरह उस समय he can. In modern times, if something happens now, like you'll have to go to the hospital, they'll make you lie on your bed only. They will infuse all the saline and all that. They put food restrictions. No, you can't say no to that because they're apad dharma they are. But once you're normal, back to your danda kamandalu kaupina. That's it. The too cold fever came. No, you should not die because body should sustain for sadhana. Though that time you may wear some kambal वगैरह बचाओ अपने आप को. That is आपद dharma called. It is allowed. But other than that, danda kamandalo के अलावा all those things which were given up earlier should not be taken up again. All the possessions, all the ownerships, etc. Gurudev was with so many ashrams while he was alive himself, was never attached to anything. You know, when he leaves any ashram, go to other center, he never used to think even a little also about this one. He'll not even inquire. Very powerful Gurudev in his love and detachment. When he used to love the people in his presence, he used to pour himself to them. And when he had to go to next center, he forgets everybody. He will not even look back. No tata bye bye. Gurudev कार में बैठते हैं ना कभी पीछे मुड़कर बाई नहीं कहा. Because his vision is what I have to do in the next center to serve them. He was a perfect yogi, jnani, bhakta, sannyasi, desha bhakta, shastra bhakta, acharya, guru, all in one is our Gurudev. Very rare to see such expression. So, there may be some masters more greater than him in some fields, like in miracles. Gurudev had all that. He has not become miraculous Baba. Some may be seemingly like that. But all important things to evolve some. He had that activeness, the dynamism, the planning, Shuddha Sattva Guna, love, aggression. He is the maximum Rajoguni, but used all that for the help of the Shastra and the sadhana. He was so much vigorously having his satsangas throughout his life. That is prerana for all of us also. So, in this way, except apada, other than danda kamandalu kopina, he should not take anything as his possession. Okay, then this shloka sola, is a very oft quoted sloka in various contexts. It is taken as Subhashitam. Here it is for the sannyasi said, but it is applicable to all. What is the sloka? Drushtiputam nyasetpadam vastraputam pibetjalam satyaputam vadedvanim manahputam samacharet. Drushtiputam nyasetpadam means before the foot is kept, the next foot, drushtiputam, the place where he is putting the next foot should be purified by the eyes. What is purification eye? Look with the eye where he is going to put the next foot. There should not be any insects, etc., which should die, which die if unknowingly you put the feet. In this way, in our life, thousands and thousands of insects we might have killed in our car travels, in our cycle scooter riding, in our walkings, jogging, running in the grass, in the forests or in the parks, etc. How many हजारों जीव हमारे पाँव के नीचे मर गए होंगे? It's very sensitive. That's how the Jaina Munis, they tie everything so that even an insect should not die going into the nose. अहिंसा धर्म है उनका. They don't know कि अंदर जो है वो भी बाहर नहीं आ रहे, वो तो मर. Everybody Jaina Muni now in the entire world with all the masks. Interesting. This is Drushtiputam Nyaset Padam. Even the grass blade also should not be troubled by us. In that way, dheere dheere pav lagate hai. That sensitivity of seeing the jiva everywhere and not harming them is the real darshan of Paramatma everywhere. Then you can't put the next feet also. Yeah, don't put it, stay there. That's called Avaduta Ajagarachara Charitaha. Like a python, stay one place. That is the highest order. That's how the Avaduta never goes anywhere. मैं कहीं जाऊं तो मेरे कारण किसी न किसी को चोट लगती है, मुझे जाने की क्या जरूरत है, यहीं रहूंगा. I mean Brahman. They're all related. They're very higher stages. Very rare. In karodo, only one will be there like that. Clear? Dushtabhutam Naset Padam. Second, Vastrabhutam Pibet Jalam. The water should be drunk, filtered in a cloth maximum. Because in the water also some insects will be there. They should not be harmed. Third one, Satyabhutam Aded Vani. Vani, before speaking, ensure that it is Sadvani, Satyavani. If it is Asat, it cannot afford to speak. All the tapasya punya goes away. So Satyabhutam Vased Vanim, last Satyabhutam Manaphutam Samachareta. Any asharana dana with the mind purified. In the purified mind is a purity of intention, purity of feelings. That's how the sannyasi should live his life. Continues. It has to be a little more elaborated. We will see it tomorrow. Excellent chapter, this one. Giving us exhaustive guidance. As a summary of all Shastras, all Shastra giver is Krishna, Lord only in the form of some or the other Rishi. So all of that is culling out and putting here in one place called Bhagavata, finding the great disciple Uddhava. We should be really indebted to Uddhava for asking question. We have to be indebted to Vyasaji for composing writing. We have to be really indebted to Shukadevji who did the prachara of this Bhagavata to Parikshit, and it continued till now, and it will continue future. Who knows, among you some may become even Bhagavatacharyas in the life here or next. हो सकता है जीवन का लक्ष्य 108 भागवत सप्ताह करना. करो, जन्म धन्य. थैंक यू. सर्वं कृष्णार्पणम्. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय. सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. Thank you. I'll come in 10 minutes. You also have a 10 minutes break for our Hindi